In November 2018, it was announced that the tomb of Wahtye has been found at the Saqqara necropolis. Inside the tomb were reliefs of Wahtye, his wife, and his mother, and 4 children. It contains 4 shafts and was built at 2415-2405 BC. Wahtye and his family are buried, but not all of them in wooden coffin. The tomb has an inscription about Wahtye. Wahtye, purified priest to the king, overseer of the divine state, overseer of the sacred boot, revered with the great god Wahtye. And here is the whole full story of Wahtye. If you were an archaeologist working to uncover the many secrets of ancient Egypt, we can say that finding a tomb perfectly preserved over the centuries would mean that you have struck gold. At the same time, the chances of this happening are quite slim. So, imagine the shock that a team of experts got when in 2018 they discovered a site that had never been looted for more than 4,000 years. In this video, we will discuss with you the findings as well as everything about Wahtye. Who was Wahtye? During the 5th dynasty of Egypt, there was a man who worked as a high-ranking priest under King Nefertari Kaki. He was Wahtye, and the tomb that the Egyptian archaeologists discovered a few years age belongs to him. According to hieroglyphs found inside, he had a family that consisted of his mother, Mertemin, his wife, wahtye, and his 4 sons. 3 sons and a daughter. Ref with colorful portrayals of their life. The tomb consists of 5 shafts and more than 50 statues. It was built somewhere in 2415-2405 BC in the Saqqara necropolis that lies to south of Cairo. It's also revealed that there is an inscription that reads Wahtye, purified priest to the king, overseer of the divine state, overseer of the sacred boot, revered with the great god Wahtye. Although he was not a part of the project, Aidan Donson, an Egyptologist at the University of Bristol, spoke about the site to National Geographic. He said, "What we have is a rock-cut tomb chapel." He also said that the rest of the decoration is made up of scenes intended to magically recreate the environment in the next world, in particular the production of food to sustain the dead for eternity, and their recipe of offering. Notably, Wahtye was also described as an egotist by Nabil, one half of the duo that was translating the hieroglyphs. Another fascinating aspect of the find was that the bones from the tomb presumably belonged to the priestess aforementioned family members. Furthermore, the opulent walls depict elegant and revealing portrayals of his life, and the multiple artifacts retrieved from the site also attest to his status. However, the reality could have been quite different, and we discuss the possibility of this in the following section. Wahtye's cause of death. How did he die? Despite the impressive position, the archaeological evidence paints a very different story about Wahdi. First off, Nermeen and Nabil noted that Wahdi's name had been overwritten over someone else on the wall. Secondly, given the massive carving of a man and a woman, one would think his wife would feature heavily in the hieroglyphs. However, to their surprise, it's the mother's name that make frequent appearances. After deliberating over this information, they came up with some rather fascinating theories as to what could have transpired. It could be possible that Wahtye stole the tomb from his brothers, although the sibling name appears nowhere on the walls. There is a poem that has been dedicated to his spirit, which the experts think could be a form of absolution for Wahtye. The archaeologists also found some mummies that had been buried. Then the concept of the field of reeds is discussed. It's supposed to be this beautiful paradise where the dead could continue to live eternally if they prove themselves as virtuous to Osiris, the god of death and resurrection. So Nermeen and Nabil hypothesized that Wahtye felt confident about reaching the ultimate afterlife destination with this personal form of penance. According to Amira Shaheen, a professor of rheumatology at Cairo University, Wahtye suffered a lot after the death of his children. She noted that his bones were aligned irregularly and described the supposedly 35 years old as a delicate man. Furthermore, it seemed as though he was suffering from a form of anemia, much like his mother. However, the academic soon felt that it could have been malaria that wiped out his entire family. After all, the bones of the offspring revealed that they were quite young. In fact, the youngest seemed to be just 6 when he died. It was a bit appalling for the team of archaeologists when they discovered that a man of Wahtye stature had been buried in a simple wooden coffin. Also, the fact that the first ever mummified lion cub was also found on premises, and you would understand why they were surprised. After all, 55 statues were found in the site. This practice was usually reserved for those of royal blood. So, if Amira is actually able to prove her theory, then Wahtye and his apparent family will become the first ever documented case of malaria in the world.